Good morning. Good morning to each of you. I am Dr. Corrine Johnson, and I would like to welcome each of you on this morning to Grace for Today 5 Minute Devotions. And on today, our subject is going to be You Don't Need to Pretend Anymore. You don't need to pretend anymore. And our key scripture is going to be coming from the division of Psalms 119, verse 45. And I'm going to be reading it from the CEV version of the Bible. And it says, I have gained perfect freedom by following your teachings. And so, in this day and time, everywhere we look around, you find people who are pretending. It's not a game. They aren't necessarily even children who are playing make believe. They are adults pretending to be someone other than themselves in order to get the approval of other people. And so seeking approval typically plays out in one or two ways. Some are trying to meet the expectation of somebody else. And that means that they're allowing their purpose in life to be defined by someone other than God. And this is a dangerous way to live because people's expectations are inconsistent. The second way that this plays out in people's lives is that some of you are trying to meet their own unrealistic expectation of perfectionism. Yeah, some of you all are trying to reach the goal of thinking that, hey, I need to be perfect. And that's when you think that you must be perfect to be loved and accepted. Inevitably, we fall short of being perfect. So the only option that makes sense for some of you all is to fake it until you make it. And so the question that I want to ask you this morning is, are you pretending? Maybe you've been pretending for so long that you don't know who the real you is anymore. You're wearing a mask and it's wearing you out. Everyone else thinks you got plenty of success, plenty of happiness. But the truth of the matter is, you have on a mask. And when you stop to think about it, you know the truth. You're exhausted because when you're trying to be somebody else other than yourself, you're always going to be exhausted. You're always going to be frustrated within it because you're not being yourself. And so, what's the antidote this morning for pretending? Well, the first thing is stop focusing on what other people think and start focusing in on what God thinks about you. Because only one person knows you completely and still loves you unconditionally, and that's God. He knows your purpose because He created it, you know, way before you were ever even thought about, way before you were ever born. God created you for purpose. So when we choose to live for God rather than the approval of other people, I'm telling you, it's going to simplify your life. You got to enjoy the peace of living for an audience of one, and that is God. And so this morning, you got to ask yourself, who are you? Have you been pretending? Do you have on a mask? Because if you do, I want to encourage you to take it off and be who God has purposed you to be so that you can experience the peace of God in your life that will surpass all of your understanding, and it will keep your heart and your mind in a stable place in God. And so on this morning, thank you so much for tuning in and joining with me for Grace for Today. 5-minute devotions. And it is my prayer that you will go forth on today and have a blessed day.